Welcome to Coding, your weekly source for understanding the latest in cybersecurity news and stories. It's been quite a week in the digital landscape, hasn't it?
It really has. Lots happening.
So let's pull back the curtain on some key incidents that, well, they directly impact your digital world. We're talking everything from critical software vulnerabilities that could affect, your everyday website or maybe even developer tools.
Right, all the way up to these highly sophisticated cybercriminal groups who are just constantly evolving their attacks.
And yeah, even nation-state actors are in the mix this week. So today, our mission is really to help you understand not just what happened, but maybe more importantly, why it matters for your digital safety.
Exactly. And maybe what you can actually do about it.
What actionable steps you can take.
That's right. We've sifted through quite a mountain of information this week to bring you the most important nuggets. We're seeing some persistent themes like the ongoing challenge of just getting patches applied in time.
Always a struggle.
And the sheer ingenuity sometimes of these threat actors. Plus, how the public and private sectors are trying to respond. What really stands out, I think, is how interconnected these incidents can seem, even when they look separate at first glance.
Yeah, like connecting the dots.
We'll definitely try to connect those dots for you, show how maybe a flaw in one little piece of software can ripple out.
And cause some major real-world impacts. Absolutely. And that ripple effect, that's precisely why we're starting here. Let's dive into what we're calling the vulnerability vortex. This relentless assault on the everyday software we all rely on. I mean, many of you listening might run a website, maybe built on WordPress, or you probably know someone who does.
Very common platform.
Exactly. So this week, a really popular WordPress plugin, Post SMTP, it has something like over 400,000 active installations. Well, it was found to have a pretty dangerous flaw.
And what made this one particularly nasty was how it worked. It was a broken access control issue. Basically, in its REST API endpoint, think of that as a sort of gateway for web apps to talk to each other. It only checked if a user was logged in.
Okay.
But not if they were actually authorized to do certain things.
So logged in, but maybe just as a basic subscriber.
Precisely. And that seemingly small oversight, it had huge implications. It allowed these low-privileged users to read all email content going through the plugin.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, imagine that. So they could trigger a password reset for an admin account.
Read the notification email with the new password.
Bingo. And then just log in as the administrator. Full site takeover.
That's bad. How many sites are potentially affected?
Well, the alarming part is that estimates suggest around 160,000 sites are still running the vulnerable version. Still. That's about 40%, maybe 40.2% of all installations.
So nearly half are just sitting ducks.
Pretty much. It's a stark reminder, isn't it? Your weakest link often isn't the core platform, like WordPress itself, but maybe that little add-on you installed ages ago for convenience.
Right. So when was this found? And is there a fix?
Yeah, good news is there's a fix. The bug was spotted back on May 23rd, 2025. It got assigned CVE 2025-24000. That's the standard identifier,
No.
Severity score 8.8 out of 10, so pretty serious.
Yeah.
And the fixed version, 3.3.0, was published on June 11th, 2025.
Okay, so the fix is out there. People just need to update.
They absolutely must update. And honestly, audit your plugins. If you don't absolutely need it, maybe get rid of it.
Reduce the attack surface.
Exactly. It's not just a minor chore. Failing to update is like leaving your front door wide open.
Okay, so from public websites like WordPress, let's pivot a bit. Let's talk about the tools used for building things. Even sophisticated tools like Google's Gemini AI aren't immune. We're talking about the Google Gemini CLI here.
Right, the command line interface. A tool for developers to interact with the AI, run commands directly. Powerful stuff.
Very powerful. And researchers at Tracebit found a pretty significant flaw. Gemini could automatically run commands that were on an allow list, which sounds okay. But the trick was malicious instructions could be sort of hidden inside seemingly harmless files, like a readyme.md file.
Oh, clever. So hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. And this could let attackers siphon off sensitive info like system variables, maybe credentials, or even install remote shells, creating a secret backdoor connection.
All without warning the user.
All without warning.
Ouch. That really highlights how even tools we trust from major companies can have these subtle exploits if the underlying mechanics aren't, well, perfect. It definitely points to the ongoing challenge of securing these AI development environments. They're getting complex fast.
So did Google fix it?
They did, yeah. Credit where it's due. They patched it pretty quickly in version 0.1.14.
Okay, so the advice.
Update immediately. Get to 0.1.14 or newer. And just be super cautious running that CLI tool on any code you don't fully trust.
Makes sense. Okay, from plugins and dev tools, let's go bigger. Enterprise level, SAP NetWeaver.
Right, the foundation for so many huge companies, critical infrastructure, really.
And there's a critical flaw here too, right? CVE 2025-31324.
That's the one. And it's got a severity score of 9.8 out of 10, extremely critical.
9.8, that's almost as bad as it gets.
Pretty much. It's in a component called the Visual Composer Metadata Uploader. And the really concerning part, it's still being actively exploited out in the wild.
Still. But SAP released a fix back in April, didn't they?
They did, late April 2025.
Yeah.
But patching large, complex SAP environments isn't always quick or easy for organizations.
Yeah, I imagine. Bureaucracy, testing.
Exactly, and attackers know this. They're jumping on it. They're using this flaw to deploy a Linux backdoor called autocolor.
Autocolor, what does that do?
It's pretty nasty. It can open reverse shells, giving attackers remote control. It can execute commands, and it's designed to stay dormant, kind of hide, to evade detection until its command and control server is reachable. Very stealthy.
Who's using this?
Well, Darktrace, the cybersecurity firm, they linked an infection at a U.S. chemicals company directly to this flaw. And maybe more worryingly, there's evidence that Chinese state-sponsored groups are also exploiting it.
Okay, so state actors too. That really raises the stakes.
Immensely. This vulnerability really brings up that whole difficult question about patch management in big organizations. Why aren't critical fixes applied faster?
It's the million-dollar question.
It is. Because the impact here, these are the bedrock systems. A compromise could be catastrophic for a company's operations.
So the message for admins running SAP NetWeavers, especially on Linux.
Apply that patch. Now, don't hesitate. The risk is just too extreme.
Okay, profound risks indeed. So we've covered some major vulnerabilities. Let's shift focus now to the actors exploiting them and how their tactics are evolving. Let's talk about Scattered Spider, also known as Octotempest.
Yes, a very active and frankly aggressive group.
What are their main methods?
Their core playbook involves really sophisticated social engineering, heavy phishing. They're very identity-focused, things like SIM swapping.
Where they hijack your phone number.
Right, and MFA fatigue, just spamming you with authentication requests, hoping you'll slip up and approve one.
Annoying, but effective sometimes.
Deceptively so. But what's alarming now is how they're evolving. They're using even more advanced social engineering, actually impersonating specific employees.
Like calling the help desk pretending to be someone.
Exactly. Tricking IT help desks into resetting passwords, even transferring MFA tokens to devices the attackers control. It's brazen.
Wow. Any new tools in their kit?
Yeah, they've added some new malware. There's RattyRAT, which is apparently for stealthy access, and they're using DragonForce ransomware, specifically targeting VMware ESXi servers.
The virtual machine hosts. That hits large organizations hard.
It does, and their evasion tactics are, well, kind of wild. They create fake social media profiles to look legitimate. They monitor internal comms, Slack, Teams.
They're inside listening.
Seems like it. And get this. They've reportedly even joined incident response calls.
Hold on, they did what? Join the calls trying to fix the breach they caused?
Apparently so. To understand how the defenders are reacting, what they know.
That is next-level audacity. What does that even imply about how deep they get?
It implies a very deep, very persistent compromise. They're not just breaking in, they're embedding themselves.
So what's the so what here? What's the main threat from Scattered Spider?
Well, they're incredibly adaptive, relentless. They target major companies, usually with double extortion tactics.
Steal the data, then encrypt.
Exactly. Maximize pressure. They're known to stash the stolen data on cloud services like Megi.NS, Amazon S3. And they've even been seen hitting Snowflake environments, those big cloud data warehouses, running thousands of queries to grab huge amounts of data quickly.
Okay, so defending against this, it sounds tough. What works?
It is tough. Phishing-resistant MFA is absolutely crucial. Think FIDO keys, WebAuthn, things that aren't easily phished or transferred.
Physical keys, biometrics.
Right. Also, really diligent auditing and restriction of remote access tools. Monitoring for any unusual logins or account activity, and the basics still matter. Offline Encrypted backups are vital for ransomware recovery. Network segmentation helps contain breaches. And, of course, patching those known vulnerabilities they might exploit initially.
It's a multi-layered defense needed, clearly.
No silver bullet.
And when these threats hit home, the impact isn't just corporate. Look at St. Paul, Minnesota recently. A major cyber attack forced the governor to mobilize the National Guard.
Yeah, that really underscores the severity. When the National Guard gets called in for a cyber incident, you know it's serious.
It's a state-level emergency, not just an IT problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
City officials had to proactively shut down systems to try and contain it. That caused, as they put it, back-end challenges for city services. Though thankfully, 9/11 remained operational.
Yeah, that's critical. They described it as a deliberate, coordinated digital attack by a sophisticated external actor.
Which makes it clear this wasn't some accident or glitch. It was targeted.
So why target a city like St. Paul?
Well, critical infrastructure,
Yeah.
city governments, utilities, hospitals, they're prime targets. They provide essential services, hold sensitive citizen data. Disrupting them causes significant real-world chaos. We don't know for sure if it was ransomware yet, but the potential impact on public services is immense. It also showed that sometimes the scale and sophistication exceed what local or even commercial responders can handle alone. State help becomes necessary.
A sobering reminder indeed. And even big entertainment names aren't safe. NASCAR.
Right. They confirmed a data breach back in April 2025.
And the Medusa ransomware group claimed responsibility, right? Demanded millions.
Yeah, Medusa stepped up, demanded $4 million, I believe.
And the impact on individuals.
Personal information,
Yeah.
names, and crucially, social security numbers of racing fans were stolen. That's serious PII.
What did NASCAR do?
They took the standard steps, secured the network, brought in third-party forensic experts, notified law enforcement, and they offered affected fans free credit monitoring for a year via Experian Identity Works, which is pretty standard practice now after breaches involving SSNs.
Right, trying to mitigate the potential identity theft for victims.
Exactly. And Medusa's approach here is textbook double extortion. Steal the data first, then deploy the ransomware to encrypt systems that gives them maximum leverage.
Pay us to get your systems back and pay us so we don't leak your fans' sensitive data.
Precisely. It really puts organizations in a terrible bind. Calculated pressure.
Well, amidst all this concerning news, it's good to hear about the fight back sometimes. And there was a significant win recently, wasn't there? The takedown of the Black Suit ransomware group.
Yes, that was a positive development. Operation Checkmate.
Operation Checkmate sounds serious. What did they achieve?
It was a big, coordinated international law enforcement effort. They managed to seize and shut down Black Suit's dark web infrastructure. We're talking the main site, their data leak site, even their negotiation portal where they talk to victims.
Wow, took down the whole shop, basically. Who
Yeah.
was involved? This sounds like a major operation.
It really was. The list is impressive. U.S. Homeland Security, DOJ, FBI, Secret Service,
Okay, the U.S. big hitters.
plus international partners, Dutch National Police, German State Criminal Police, the UK's National Crime Agency, Ukrainian Cyber Police, Europol,
A truly global effort.
and private companies too, like Bitdefender, providing intelligence. That public-private partnership is often key in these takedowns.
That level of collaboration is great to see. But does taking down websites really stop these groups for good?
That really raises the important question, doesn't it? About the long game here. Operation Checkmate was definitely a significant win, a major disruption.
Yeah.
But you're right to question the finality. Taking down websites, seizing infrastructure. It usually slows these groups down significantly. It hurts their operations, their reputation, but it often doesn't stop them entirely, especially if key members aren't arrested, and there were no arrests reported in this case, as far as we know.
So they just rebuild.
Often, yes. These groups are resilient. They might lie low for a few weeks or months, regroup, rebuild their infrastructure on different servers, maybe under a new name, and then they're back. So it's a constant battle. A disruption is good. It saves potential victims in the short term, but it's rarely a knockout blow. It's more like an ongoing arms race.
Resilience on both sides then, defenders and attackers.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today. Let's try to synthesize this. What does all this mean for you, our listener? We've gone from, dangerous flaws in everyday website plugins and even sophisticated AI tools to these incredibly evasive threat groups like Scattered Spider, the real-world chaos they can cause like in St. Paul, and then also the fight back, like the Black Suit takedown. It really feels like the takeaway is constant vigilance. applying those patches, understanding the tactics.
Absolutely. Vigilance is key. And recognizing that cybersecurity isn't just an IT department problem, it's a shared responsibility. Whether you're an individual user, a small business owner, part of a huge corporation.
Everyone has a role.
Everyone does. And the common thread through all these incidents we discussed, it's the crucial role of those timely updates and proactive security measures. Whether you're a developer using tools like Gemini CLI, a website owner worried about plugins, or just, navigating your digital life. Your awareness, your actions, they matter in the bigger picture.
So don't click strange links, update your software.
Yes, and maybe think critically. Always question, always verify. Assume there's always more to learn because the landscape is always changing. Staying informed is probably your best defense.
Well, we certainly hope walking through this week's cybersecurity news has given you some valuable insights, maybe helps you navigate the digital world with a bit more confidence or at least awareness. Thank you for joining us.
Stay safe.
We'll be back next week on Calm Coding with more essential updates. Stay safe out there.